All right, welcome back to the TheDnazChannel. Today, we are going to talk about harmful frequencies. That's right, harmful frequencies. They're all around us. They're pegging us. That's right. They're putting on the strap on and they're pegging us all the time from every angle. You just got things slapping you in the face from every angle. And you need to know what they are, because if things are going to be provocatively entering your body on a daily basis, all day, 24 hours a day, wouldn't you like to know what you are being penetrated by? I would think so. I would think so. So today, let's go over some of the things penetrating our body. Now, number one biggest thing, our cell phones, 5G, right? Which really, you know, it's just like all these broadband waves and the internet waves that are all floating around in the air. Remember, right? No one seems to think that it's that amazing that we have radio waves or these wireless internet, right? I don't think anyone stops for a second and realizes like the awe of it, or realize like the magic of it, kind of like, how is this just floating around in the air in this invisible field, and these invisible frequencies are just floating around. We're able to pick them up, right, with signals and antennas, right? And then they don't stop to think, well, if that's possible, then how does the real world work, right? And like I've been trying to tell you guys, how Tesla did the experiment where he put light bulbs in the ground and they lit up. Why? Because the world's dielectric field is always flowing out and in like a toroid, like the shape of a donut, okay? In and out, like around the donut, back in through the hole in the center of the donut, up and around. That's how it flows in a toroidal shape all around the world. That's how our dielectric field flows, our magnetic field, if you will, if you'd like to call it that, right? Because magnetism, dielectricity, it's like the same thing, but it's all coming from the ether, from, the magnetic field of the earth is how nature works, right? So if you realize that, wow, okay, we can have internet, we can have all these things that just flow through the air. So life tends to work this way. So things going through the air, frequencies have to be real, right? It's not just like some hoo-ha. It's not some, they're just lying to you saying frequencies harm you. No, the frequencies are there. If they weren't there, internet wouldn't work. Your radios wouldn't work, okay? So there are invisible forces that affect us, okay? Like I like to say, think of music. Music is a frequency. If you turn music, if you put on something negative, dark, eerie music, you feel the darkness, you feel the negative, right? Or if you put on some happy music, song you like, really happy song, snapping your fingers, snapping, going, that is a high frequency. You would say a high frequency. It doesn't necessarily mean the song's on high frequency, but that's a good way that we describe it to each other. You are on this nice uplifting frequency, right? So that just shows you right there how frequencies work. The frequency and vibration of music giving you those emotions and feelings, they affect you. So if music can affect you this way, if sounds can affect you this way, that all that works with frequency and on waves. So then the frequencies that are all around us in the 5G and the cell phones and our microwaves, from our computers, from our TVs, all these fields of frequencies, these frequency emitters, these frequency attractors that we have all around us at all times. They are everywhere. We are constantly in a space where there is something drawing frequencies towards us, and those are affecting us. They are harmful to us, okay? And I want to show you an example, and that is if you're a city person. Now, I live in a city, okay? And I'm sure most of you live in cities, right? I know a lot of you don't, but for the ones that do live in cities, if you notice all the crazy things happening in the world, all the crazy people, the stuff you see on the news, it's all people from the cities, from places that are densely populated. And I want to tell you something. us being densely populated like that and humans being all together, this is an old tactic from old England, from kings, old kings, right? Where they would concentrate all their people together in one city, so that, because back then they had horses, or they had to travel horseback or walking, months to the next country to go. You had to walk because the king told you to go here, collect taxes from these people, right? Well, what's an easier way to collect taxes from all the people? Have them all together in the same place. So they started making cities and concentrating people, piling them on top of each other, right? Because it's easier to tax people. It's easier to have everybody in the same place, and you can account for how many people you have, how many people you can tax, okay? And now the world has seemed to go this way, where we're living on top of each other, right? We got no breathing room. I want some elbow space, man. Like, get off of me. That's how I feel in this world. That's how we're all starting to feel. And maybe that's why we are not so friendly to our neighbors anymore, because we got tired of people, because we're constantly on top of each other. We're smothering each other, right? But if you go out to the country, where people are living in the country, in rural areas, you don't see people all cooped up and crazy. They're all very calm, laid back, chill, right? You've met these people. If you've driven to these places, you've seen these people. They're all very calm, chill, very nice people. Why is that, do you say? Why is the city that I come from, everybody's such an asshole? Everyone's so crazy. Everyone's yelling at each other. Traffic, beeping, horns. Everyone's, right? Why is that? But then when I go out to the country, everybody is very generous and very calm, laid back. What's the rush for? Right? What is the rush for? What are you doing? Where do you have to be? Right? And then versus the rat race mentality, where it's like, come on, I got to go. I got to do, I got to get things done. Another thing after another, not enough time in the day, versus laid back, chill. What is the difference? Well, I'm telling you, that is all the frequencies and bombardment that we are getting all the time, because we are all surrounded, especially in the cities. We are surrounded by technology and things that attract frequencies, all sorts of them. And we all got microwaves in our home, and we're pounding microwave frequencies. Let's go over what a microwave does, okay? Let's go over what a microwave does. Let's get out the trusty marker, okay? We're going to go with the water molecule, okay? Hydrogen, 2 oxygens. We're going to go with the water molecule. And we're going to go with a magnet, right? So there's geometric north, geometric south, and then our axis, this is our world. Our South Pole is really here, and our North Pole is really here. It's really reverse. From the geographic north and south, our poles do switch on the Earth, the poles switch. And that is how it is as of right now. But if you were to take a magnet on a water molecule, you will see that the water molecule is polar. It is polar, right? You have this split, north and south, right? It's polar. Why? Why do seeds grow better? Why do plants grow better in the southern hemisphere? The plants grow better in the southern hemisphere. Look it up. Seeds grow bigger. Plants grow bigger, okay? Because as you're coming from the center of the earth and you have these frequencies coming out and in, you have a more concentrated frequency towards the center, and as you expand out, you have a bigger, larger field where things are able to grow and stretch out. So, water. Where am I going? Microwave. That's where I'm going. Almost lost you. Almost lost you. Going back to the microwave and the water molecule, where does it go? What happens? Well, when microwaves are hitting, those are microwaves, by the way. If you didn't know, those are microwaves. When those are hitting the water molecules inside of our food, as we turn on our microwave, water is heating up. It is expanding. It is boiling. It is disturbing the water molecules. So the water molecules are getting disturbed, and they are all bumping into each other, creating friction, bumping into each other. That is what's happening when we turn on our microwave. So, considering that our body is 70% water, right? What do you think is happening when we get blasted by microwaves? What do you think? What do you think is going on when we get blasted by microwaves, when we're using a microwave? When a microwave, the waves attack water molecules, they disturb water molecules to the point where they freak out, bump into each other, and evaporate. And it cooks the food from the inside out. Well, we're 70% water. What do you think that's doing to us? You think that's just a myth that they're not good for us? No. And where are they in all of our houses? Eye level, right next to our head. Well, what did we just go over? How frequencies can mess up your head, how listening to certain music can change your emotion. Your emotions getting messed up will mess up your head, won't it? So what do you think all these frequencies are doing? And then they say, oh, keeping your phone in your pocket is making men sterile. If you haven't heard that, look that up too. That's crazy. That's scary. Now you got to worry about keeping your phone in your pocket, right? So what do you think it's doing to you when your phone's up to your ear all the time? You know, when you're constantly wearing these headphones wireless, when everything's wireless, what do you think is happening, right? I want you guys to be aware. I want you guys to start looking things up, start focusing more on your health, because your health is important. You need your health. If you want to live long, and we should want to live long, because life is beautiful and there's plenty of things to do. You're not young if you're in your 40s. Your life is not even halfway there, right? You have, and even if you lived 40 years already, imagine what you can do in another 40 years. The amount of things you did in your first 40 years. Imagine doubling that, right? So we want to live long. We got things to do. You should care about your health. You should care about the things that we have around us. What is affecting our health, right? That is what matters. And the things that are affecting our mental health are frequencies. And we need to understand these frequencies and find out what is going on, how are we being affected, and how can we change that, right? So here on the DNaz channel, I want you to do some research, because I can't do everything for you. I'm bringing it to your attention. You do some shit. Don't just listen to me like I know everything, because I don't. You know, get out there, learn about frequencies, keep your phone out of your pocket, you know, try to limit your microwave use, right? And try to ground yourself. Ground yourself. Go outside, stand with no socks, no shoes on the ground, because you got to think how electricity flows. Electricity flows just like the magnetic field flowing out and in. That's how the field is flowing through our body, out, in, and out, in and out, right? So when you ground yourself, it's just like a grounding wire. You have a wire on a car, right? Your grounding wire, it's putting it to the ground. It's discharge, right? It's cathode and anode. It's charge and discharge. The electrical current is being discharged through the ground wire. So when you're grounding yourself, you are discharging that energy out of you. Bad energy, things can flow naturally out of you. It's good for you. It's healthy. Look up more about your energy level, how you work with the magnetic field, how frequencies affect you. Give it a thought, improve your health. Comment below, tell me what you think. Like and subscribe, and come back for more on the DNaz channel. We'll see you next time.